We are gearing up for day 2 at the Masters. Round 1 leader Sungjae Im there on the putting green. Coming into today, 5 under on the day. What a round for him. Able to eagle that par 5 on 13 on the way to 5 under and at 67. Sitting at the top of that leaderboard above Cameron Smith and Dustin Johnson. And taking a look at that leaderboard, of course, tees off at 9:39, about 38 minutes from him getting that second round in. But look at the top 3 there. This kind of looks like that 2020, the way the Masters ended when DJ won. Of course, Sungjae sitting on top there. Cameron second, and DJ as well. Looking like the old DJ after round 1. We'll see if he can carry that into that second day here on the greens in Augusta National. Speaking of the greens, you got to bring in the guru of the greens, Doug Bell, tap it in as we get ready for day 2 here, Doug. And back to Sungjae Im. The numbers he put up yesterday, 67, now on top. Your thoughts on what you saw yesterday and what he can do today?
Well, you saw Sungjae warming up for round number 2, and he's wearing a long sleeve sweater. So it's cold today, but I think Sungjae Im got the nice draw. He'll get the early tee time today, which means he won't deal with the tough winds that'll come later in the day. And yesterday, he beat those winds by just a few minutes. So again, great draw for Sungjae Im. That's very important in a major championship. Sometimes the draw goes opposite your direction, but this is not a surprise, Brandon. As you mentioned, finished second to Dustin Johnson when he won the Masters a couple of years ago. This guy's 24 years old, 2-time winner on the PGA Tour, supremely gifted, and he has a maniacal training method. He rivals that of Vijay Singh. I mean, this guy is always on the golf course, always working on his game. If he takes a week off, which is rare, he plays every single day, upwards of 8 hours a day. I mean, this is crazy what this guy does, but he's married to the game of golf. And one of the great scenes earlier this week at the par 3 tournament, before it got rained out, his dad was his caddy. His dad walks around every round with him, smokes cigarettes. He's a nervous Eddie out there. But his dad hit a tee shot within like 2 feet, which was a great scene. And it was great to see them embrace and hug and enjoy the moment. So I think Sungjae Im is enjoying this moment. It isn't too big for him. And with the good draw, I think he goes out today and solidifies that lead heading into the weekend. This is a big day for Sungjae Im, and he's up to the task.
Definitely living off his dad's vibes from earlier in that par 3, as you mentioned there. Of course, Sungjae's like, all right, well, let me just get the top of the board to round 1 so we can both celebrate something here. Speaking of celebration, you mentioned there Dustin Johnson as well, 2020 champ, still in the driver's seat, maybe in that top 3. What did you see from him? He shot a 69. We had the question, could he get back to the old DJ we saw? I think we got a glimpse of that. Your thoughts?
Yeah, Brendan, I agree. We saw glimpses of that yesterday, and he's been playing well leading up to the Masters. Didn't play a lot at the beginning of this season, and everybody was asking, what's up with DJ? He just wasn't playing very much, and then gradually got his game back. It's in a really good spot right now. I think what you have to look at, he's hitting out of the rough on that shot right there. He didn't hit a lot of drivers yesterday. After his round, he said, which is unusual for him, the driver just didn't feel good in his hands. So he was hitting the 3-wood most of the day, and his misses were wide left. Now he sets up for a left or right shot. That's his aiming point. It's a beautiful thing to see. But when he's not hitting it right, it's a double cross. In other words, he sets up for that left or right shot, and he hooks it left all the way. It didn't cost him yesterday except for that late bogey, but he went to the range again right after his round, which is rare for him. And he was really working on the driver because he knows that he's going to need that driver eventually here, especially with the wind shifts today. So we'll see what happens. I thought it was a terrific start with that bad driver on the scorecard. Still played well. So I think DJ, again, gets the nice draw. And I think Dustin Johnson in really good shape at this year's Masters.
A former number 1 trying to trim back up to that leaderboard there as we saw yesterday, maybe today. How about Patrick Cantley? We said early in the week, this is a guy that's always in the hunt. So far, so good. 2 under heading into today.
You know, he flies under the radar screen, and this is the guy who won the FedEx Cup a year ago, but he obviously likes playing here. The year that Tiger won in 2019, had his opportunities on that Sunday, if you remember, played very well, and then some late bogeys kind of put him out of the race there. But nevertheless, this is a world-class player. Like I said, FedEx Cup champion not too long ago. A very good putter, loves the short game. And really, when you describe Patrick Cantley, he has no weaknesses in his game. Check out that tee shot at 16. Again, Patrick Cantley, good draw in a good spot, and he knows how important today is. He needs to get another good round in today before those winds pick up, and he knows he could potentially walk off the golf course today heading to the weekend in very good shape heading into the third round.
Not too bad there. You see that second nine, those 3 birdies paying off well, finishing with a 34. So he's in the hunt there at 2 under, but of course we know the big cat is 1 under. And before Kyle Porter says something on Twitter to me, I am Team Tiger. I want him to play better. I know he shot a 71, but realistically, when you see how this field is stacked, what does he need to do to continue to trend up on that leaderboard today?
Well, yesterday, Brandon, I'm like you. It was like a house of cards. And when I saw him bogey 8, which was a sloppy bogey, and he admitted that he had a mental lapse and then hit a wayward tee shot at 9, I kept thinking, all right, the house of cards is about to crumble. This has been a great story, but we're about to see Tiger unravel. It did not happen. It was a terrific second shot at 13. This tee shot right here at the par 3 was spectacular. He got up and down from all sorts of spots after not driving the ball well. The birdie putt at 16, it got all the patrons on their feet. That was a 29-footer. I mean, I was fist pumping as I was watching that. And then he walks off the green with a great sense of pride. I mean, this was important to him, and what he accomplished yesterday was very meaningful, and you heard it in his post-round comments. He just needs to drive it a little bit better in this second round, but let's put a caution on this just for the moment. He has the bad draw. Now, it was a good draw for his rest's sake. He played early, late, so he had plenty of time to get ready for round number 2, go ice the leg, and then warm up, do all those warm-ups that he does hours before the round. That's good. But he got the bad draw in the sense when he tees off today, the wind is going to be swirling. And again, on TV now, the pine trees are so tall at Augusta National, and they flank the sides of all these fairways. They form a gauntlet. And you don't see it on TV like you do in a Florida course or a Texas course where the flag is swaying back and forth, or you may see an ocean shot where you see white caps. It's subtle at Augusta National. That's why the players like Tiger are always looking up at the pine trees, because those pine trees are swirling. Big factor today, the wind. Tiger and all those guys in the afternoon are going to have to deal with it. It is going to be a ferocious golf course when Tiger tees off today. We'll see how he handles it. Must put the ball in the fairway more often than he did in round number 1.
Doug, I want to piggyback off on that because you mentioned, of course, the late tee time may not be in his favor at 1:41 p.m. He also mentioned yesterday that he's definitely a little sore after what we saw yesterday. You mentioned the wind, and we all know that course, of course, it's no flat land at all. What are maybe some things that can cause a problem for him here today?
Well, again, the wind, and it's unpredictable. Like I mentioned, the Florida and Texas winds, they come from one direction, they come hard. I mean, if it's a 20-mile-per-hour wind, it's blowing like that all day. So these professional golfers, they can deal with that. But at Augusta National, the wind swirls amidst the pine trees. Nobody knows that better than Tiger Woods. And you'll be watching today with Tiger. He'll back off multiple times today because it's guesswork. Is the wind going to gust, or am I going to catch this little window of opportunity? That's what makes it so difficult for these players. Listen, the wind is just completely unpredictable at Augusta National on a day like today. And also, Brandon, the greens. Yesterday, they were very receptive. Fast, yes, but today they'll be back to Augusta National standards because of the breeze, because we haven't had any rain now for a period of time. These are the fastest greens in professional golf. They're the most undulated greens in professional golf. In other words, they're the most complicated and the most difficult greens for these guys to try to overcome. And that's what we'll see Tiger today. He'll be dealing with unpredictable winds and greens that are going to be sizzling fast. Nothing that the players have seen up to this point. Not in the practice rounds, certainly not yesterday. So Tiger and all those guys in the afternoon dealing with the winds. And look out for the greens, Brandon. Fasten your seatbelts if you're a player, because if you're above the hole, good luck trying to two-putt.
Yeah, late tee time, not ideal for Tiger, but maybe that morning tee time for Sergio Garcia, former champ here in the Masters, of course. He's on the range, of course, getting ready for his second round. Not too bad. Even on yesterday, your thoughts of his chances here as we get into the weekend?
Well, Sergio Garcia hasn't won on the PGA Tour since the Masters. It's been a long time. But as we see in these past champions, when they get to Augusta National, it brings back old memories. It reinvigorates their game. And I think Sergio Garcia yesterday has to be pleased with the 72. Look at those early bogeys in the round, then kind of settled into the round. I thought the birdies at 7 and 9 were key. Took advantage of the situation at 15 after a very good drive. Listen, 72 is not a bad score. This is a very difficult golf course. We'll see if Sergio can bounce back. I think anybody who makes the cut, it's going to be, listen, the cut is going to be made after today, but everybody's going to be bunched up, as difficult as this golf course is. So really all you have to do is make the cut, and Sergio hopes to make the cut, and then you got a chance this weekend, because this weekend is going to be a wild scene at Augusta National.
5 years ago since he was able to don that green jacket at Augusta National. It's kind of crazy to even think about that. Of course, like Tiger, chasing maybe another. Doug Bell, as always, appreciate your time breaking it down as we get into round two. Don't forget, you can catch all the Masters coverage. We have you covered here on CBS Sports HQ, but into the weekend, you can watch that third round, of course, on Paramount Plus, also the CBS Sports app, and that final round starting at 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. also on Paramount Plus and CBS.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.